Hey guys, I'm back at it again with another hero deck profile. So I think this is for September, and yeah, it's been a while, and a lot of things have changed since I've done my last deck profile. I think Numerons came into the meta, as well as Dragoon. So this is kind of a post Dragoon kind of deck profile, and there's a lot of changes I've actually made to kind of adjust to that. So this is actually really beneficial, I think, to a lot of players because it just kind of like it. My deck contains text now that kind of deal with Dragoon and cards like Numeron and even like Dogmatica to an extent. So, well, without further ado, let's just get to it. We'll start off with the main deck and then we'll go through the extra and the side at the end. Okay, so to start off with, as you guys probably already know, like with a lot of my deck profiles, I just play 2 Stratos, so I feel that's all you really need for this deck. You don't need any more or any less. It's just 2 is a good amount. And recently, actually, I actually just play Liquid Soldier. I don't play Solid Soldier. I actually cut Solid Soldier recently. I found recently I just going because this is a going second build. Most of the time, my Solid Soldier would just get kind of stopped his by imperm or some kind of negate, and then if I didn't have Forest or something following up on the play, I'd be kind of like dead to rights right there. I found that Solid Soldier was still pretty good though when you're going first because you can start go through the whole Solid Soldier Stratos and either Forest or a Mally in your hand combo, and then you could just kind of go +6. But to be honest, like more often than not, I found I wasn't really going to that combo, and when I did go into that combo, I found that I was getting Nibiru a lot. So that I decided like just to cut it because I wanted to get my deck down to 41. I find that 41 it's the most consistent, and I'm able to a not brick as much and b have better hands and have more of the tech choices I want as opposed to just having a Solid Soldier, a brick hand, and like a mass change that I can't even use because I don't run DN, right? So personally, I find Liquid Soldier kind of does what Solid does, but better. So, I just feel like you don't really need Solid Soldier. And I think we're at that stage where we have to kind of, get away from the old way of doing hero things and just kind of like move on to what we can do and what's available to us. So I still play only one mist. I feel like you only really need one mist because I find that if you run two, it does get kind of bricky. I know some people might argue that, oh, you might be able to use it, late game and all that, but I have other cards that I actually want to dump as opposed to another mist, so we'll get to those later on. And I just run the one Honest Neo, so that's pretty much all the elemental heroes. So we'll just get to the second, well, probably arguably in my opinion the first most important engine, the Vision Hero engine. So this is pretty much what got this deck to be so competitive. So we still play 3 Ferris, 2 Increase, and 2 Vion. It's pretty standard. Don't really have to go into that. You play that because it works, and if you play anything less, it breaks, and you're kind of shit out of luck. I know some people play one increase or whatnot every now and then, but to be honest, I'm not that daring, and yeah, I've tried it a couple times, and you do end up with a 1 increase in your hand, and your engine is dead. And in my opinion, like, yeah, you could probably find other ways with the hero deck having other options, but at the same time, like, why try to fix something that ain't broke? Like, there's other ways of trying to fix this deck, and that's why I kind of like change some of the ratios with Stratos and Mist, and even just cutting Solid Soldier. So yeah, and then for the D hero, so we play one Celestial. He's the best level 4, arguably, hands down. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Like, Decider isn't that great. He has kind of some niche kind of like effects that might come up maybe once in every 20 duels, but most of the time, if you do have to normal one, I'd rather normal Celestial because he pops back row, and that arguably makes it better than all the other ones. And then Dynatag is kind of good because he's kind of like a battle fader, and he also, when he's in grave, he kind of boosts up Dystopia to give you a pop, so, or boosts up Plasma or any D hero that you have. So that's good in that sense. I play 2 Mally because we only have 2 To be honest, I don't really care. Like, I know a lot of people cry about having two Mali, but to be honest, I have my third Mali in this deck, and we'll get to that later. And then I have one Plasma. So Plasma is God in this deck. He's really good in this format. He's good against Numerons, good against, I don't know what other decks he's good against. Yeah, he's even kind of good against Dogmatica if your opponent doesn't have the Fleur, I guess, in their hand. They can't really kind of do anything, so yeah. So, yeah, really, really good card. So we have the one Adusted Gold. You know, you only play one. Still an expensive card. So, but we also have the Necrom and Prodigy. So this, in a sense, this is three Malleus right there. Because you can just easily dump them off of Vion, off the discard from Forest. There's so many ways, or even just add it in this poly and having the grave for later. So it's just, there's so many ways to have this, and yeah, it's a good extender, and you know, extenders are never bad in the deck. So then that's it for the heroes. So then we'll get to the hand traps. So we have two ashes. So it's kind of the most general kind of hand trap that we use. So it's kind of like yeah, it hits all the decks, and you know, I know a lot of people are playing Gamma, but Ash kind of like, you know, you could use Ash against Gamma as well too. So yeah, it's just like a deck that hand trap that hits all kind of decks. So you know, it's just a general. It's just consistently hits all the decks, so you might as well play it, and then side out for the other ones that you have on your side. So we'll get to those later as well too. So that's it for the monsters. Now for the spells, we have 3 Mass Change. Standard. We have a hero deck, so you have to play 3 Mass Change. No more, no less. 3 Fusion Destinies. So I got the rarity bump. You know, it's one of the things that they actually did give a rarity bump. Unfortunately, you know, Cross Crusader and didn't get a bump. That was kind of unfortunate, or even Draw Hand. You know, Dominance got a bump, and like, with the exception of, I think, Chris, you know, that rogue hero Yugi tuber, like, no one really plays Dominance that much. But you know, I'm not knocking Dominance. It's an interesting card. I used to play Dominance too when the D hero support kind of came, but I find that it's not, doesn't really fit my play style. Because I kind of want, I feel like it's more for a grind game, but I don't know. I feel like the way that Yu-Gi-Oh is right now, it's, you know, it's, you have to try to kind of try to like prioritize to beat your opponent for like the first 1 or 2 turns, as opposed to like looking for a grind game. Otherwise, you know, you could just, especially with Numerons and Dragoons, you could just get blown out in 1 turn, which is unfortunate. So I played 2 E-Calls and then 1 Rhoda. So I feel like that's the perfect ratio, because sometimes you actually, I like Rhoda because it kind of confuses your opponent. Sometimes they might not know what you're playing, and you just play Rhoda, and they might think that, oh, it's just the one of, and then you play the E-Calls, and you know, then you kind of catch them by surprise after and all. It's a good, Rhoda is a good Ash bait because you know, it's only a one of, right? So that's why I play. Otherwise, I would have played 3 E-Calls, but you know, E-Call is kind of a dead giveaway what you're playing. So I play 1 Hero Lives, you know, because it is at 1. Would like it at 2, but let's see what Konami does. To be honest, it could go to 3. I don't think Heroes would do anything amazing in the meta. Like, I find, like, what makes a hero player what he is right now, like, the deck can do really well against meta decks, but you have to play absolutely perfect, and that's the crutch of playing a rogue deck like Heroes right now. So, but I find this deck is actually kind of tailored to, well, the way I constructed this deck, tailored to what the meta is right now. We'll get to that later. I play 1 Poly because it's searchable, and then 1 Miracle because it's searchable as well too. 1 Dark Calling because it's searchable off of Dusted, and then now to the cards that I've put into this deck recently. So I have 2 Forbidden Droplets, really, really good card. It's good against Numerons with Zexal. It's also good against pretty much any like break or bust kind of deck. So like break my board kind of deck. So if you have this, then you have like lots of like monsters in your hand and you have like one or two extenders, you can go off and then you could win the game pretty much. So this card by itself, it's won me so many games. It adds so much power to this hero deck as well. So it's, in my opinion, it's better than Dark Ruler No More. You know, it's just like, because you can OTK after, and then, you know, you could also plus off the discards with off the Mist, off the Mali dump, off the Necrom dump, so you could just, you know, you can just go off from there. And yeah, it's just like, it just adds so much utility and all that. Unfortunately, it's once per turn, but, you know, if you, most often than not, if you resolve this and it goes through, you win the game, in my opinion, at least. Two Lightning Storms, you know, for those ticky-tacky back row decks. I know not a lot of people are playing back row right now because, you know, I know Ultrageist with Fakers at 3, it's kind of an issue. But to be honest, that deck right now kind of struggles against decks like Dragoons. You're not really seeing that much. It's good against like Guru, I find. So, you know, everyone plays back row to an extent. So Lightning Storm is a good card to have in the main. And then 2 Imperm because, again, like Ash, it's like super generic. So, okay, so let's get to the extra deck. So I'd start off with 2 Dark Claw, pretty standard. Don't really have to go too much into this, actually. I choose not to. 1 Master Hero Blast, you play this because you want to dodge Imperm and dodge and try to pretty much stop their Konomi 1 because that's a stupid fucking card and it pisses me off. And you just spin it to the back to their hand. You play Acid for the Harpy Duster kind of interaction with off of Mass Change, off of Ab Zero or Liquid Zero. Speaking of which, Ab Zero. So you pretty much you get this, you nuke the board. Pretty standard. Everyone's been doing that for a while. 1 Sunriser, good card, Miracle Searcher, and also you get a pseudo pop off of it when your opponent attacks one of the monsters not named Sunriser. So good card to have on the field. Good protection for Plasma, good protection for Dark Claw. 1 Bane, you know, really, really good card, puts in work, especially in mid-game. Like, it just kind of like, you know, just breaks boards and then also can be destroyed. So it's kind of a pain to get rid of, but, you know, good for you, right? Now for the D-Hero cards, play 1 Dystopia. This is one you mostly use off of Fusion Destiny. So you use it for the burn and use it for the pop. You know, really, really good card. Destiny Hero Dangerous. I use this too for awkward hands, and it kind of helps me set up my Dystopia combo, which, you know, if I just need 1 or 2 cards, and since I play the Evil Hero Necrom engine, I'm able to, off of Fusion Destiny, kind of sit on Dark Claw and Dystopia, or even Plasma and Dystopia, and that, you know, I know there's so many memes on, you know, the Hero Duelist boards of like, oh yeah, I lose to Raigeki and all that stuff. I'm gonna you know, neck or something, but you know, I don't worry about that shit because this card is actually pretty decent. It's easy to summon with the way I play the deck as well too. So, you know, you just need 1 Fusion Destiny and you have it on the board, and then you're able to get Plasma pretty easily as well too. So it's just, you know, guys, you guys have to adjust. I find like I feel like a lot of the people on the Yugioh Hero Duelist boards, they kind of like they're stuck in the same ways. You have to keep on trying to push the deck and try different things. Trinity, this card is amazing when it goes with droplets, you know, because everyone's halved, and then you just beat over them and you win the game. You play 2 Cross Crusaders, really, really good card. You know, unfortunately, we didn't get the hero bumps, so I'm just playing the Japanese Starlight. Looks really nice. And then to top off the deck, just 1 Wonder Driver and 1 Dread Decimator. So this card is really good because of recursion, and I'm able to like special summon stuff off. So again, if you have Mali, Necrom in the grave, summon this, you can get your Poly back, Mass Change, Fusion Destiny, Miracle, you name it. So, and you're able to get it pretty consistently, at least the way I play it. So, okay, now off to the side. Okay, so to start off with, oh yeah. So something new. Play 3 Triple tactics talent. Just trying this right now. So before I was playing exchange, but to be honest, I'm not really getting Nibiru that much anymore because I think a lot of people are realizing that Nibiru is not really good that this much in this format because of Dragoon. Dragoon kind of like just poops on that right now. So Dragoon, like everyone's pretty much trying to side for Dragoon, trying to find ways because that card in itself wins games. So this is a really good card I find for pretty much every kind of deck. So like if you get Ashed or Gamma, and most often not because we're in a pretty much hand trap format right now. You're gonna get hand trapped in your turn, and heroes we can play through one or two hand traps, so that's kind of good. So you just resolve triple tactic talents, and then you have an options of many things to do. So you can either draw your two cards, you can rip a card from your opponent's hand, which is apparently most of the time what are you going to do unless you don't have an extender. Or you could take a chance and you could draw the two cards, or you can steal one of your opponent's cards for the turn. So like if your opponent has Dragoon on the field, you can just use talent and then take it for the turn. Have it like at 4K, and hopefully go for game after that. So really really good card, really expensive right now too. So yeah, it's not cheap. So if you can afford it, by all means. But if you can't, then don't 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 dip into your savings too much if it's gonna hurt you for Yu-Gi-Oh. That's for sure. I have money on the side and just keeps me busy, so that's why I fork it over, and I like it as well too. So and then let me just see. Okay, we play the three evenlies. So pretty standard. It's really good still in this format. So a lot of break your board decks. A lot of back row decks. You play this, and then definitely it's really good against the hero mirrors as well too. So yeah, definitely comes up. Then we play three cosmics because we don't like back row. It's pretty self-explanatory. Don't like Eldritch. Hand traps. We play two ogres, so this is good for numerons. Go for against dinos, which is a good deck as well too. So yeah, and it's even good against the hero mirror. You just use this against increase when they're trying to tribute, and then you pretty much go -2. And then we have two DD Crow, another good kind of hand trap in this meta. And then one red reboot, and then the last droplet that I side in every now and then. So yeah, guys, that's my hero deck profile. Hope you guys liked it. I'm gonna take this to locals tomorrow. I've been playing with this online for a bit, and it's been going pretty well. But hopefully I do well at locals tomorrow. And we're starting to do 16-man locals now at our locals. So if you're ever in around Mississauga, close to Toronto, Ontario, in Canada, you guys should hit up Untouchables, and you'll definitely see me there. So really, really good locals. Got a lot of great players, but yeah, it's just good to finally start playing Yu-Gi-Oh now, and hopefully with that ban list as well soon. So, anyways, guys, it was great chatting with you. Hope you guys liked the profile. Have a good one.